It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight we kick off Week 3 with a great Thursday night matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Two weeks have come and gone. It's off to Week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
They'll try the right side with Jones. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
3rd and 2, Watson. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
And they'll run. This is Trey Sermon.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Watson's throw into the hands of his receiver, Guyton.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another 1st down. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want their body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, and sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Mike Williams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Rams take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
first down. They'll start out with Singletary. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Carr going to throw. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the Grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. 9 yards that time.
And the Rams at 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that, and what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They felt they had the right guys on the team and in the locker room. But they do have to start winning some games. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Play action. Now it's Carr. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now a play fake. Carr. Caught by Nelson left side. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
And now a decision here on the opening drive. 4th and very short, this part of the field. What do you think they do, CD?
I think you go for it. I think there's a lot of game left to be played. I like the advantage that they're trying to create here early. I say be aggressive and try and get it done.
And Carr's going to keep it himself.
And he is going to have the Rams first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. Hunter Henry brings it in.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Working with a 2nd and 4.
Now Carr. He completes it to Nelson. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 25-yard line. The Rams, they are on the move. They've got another first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Complete. Hunter Henry with the grab. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Another nice gain. 13 yards that time and another first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Seahawks 7, Rams 0.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Singletary here running out of the gun. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
Throwing on 2nd down. Carr. Touchdown, Rams. Hunter Henry. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Rams are within an extra point of tying up this ball game.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Carr will look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So why go for that there? First half, you could have tied the game at 7. Why try to get the lead?
Feels like an analytics call, doesn't it? That's starting to really get into the game where they're studying where you can make extra points and the whole deal and, get an advantage. But I don't know that we have enough data yet to really say this is the right play or the wrong play. Maybe in 2 or 3 more NFL seasons.
Could change.
Exactly. 2 or 3 more NFL seasons, I think we'll have a much better study and a much better case of what we're going to do.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Again, it's Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Sermon now on 1st and 10. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Throw left side complete. That's Williams. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
He was brought down by Trayvon Mullen.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll go jet sweep here with Sutton. Evades him at the 10. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
And he's got it. Touchdown. Keyshawn Johnson from 4 yards out. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Sanders on for the extra point. And it's up. It's good. Our score 14-6.
The score Seahawks 14, Rams 6. Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. We'll see a return here from the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that have caused you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Seahawks will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now it's Watson. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted.
And the Rams are going to get it back here just past the 35. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Carr now on first down. He'll call Nelson's number yet again. It's complete.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it into double coverage, and it's intercepted. picked off by Ronald Darby.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
Well, those have been a problem for him all season, but never quite as much as they have in these last few minutes. Let's count it up now. A pair of picks on his team's last 2 drives and double-digit interceptions this season. I don't care if you're the best in the game or an undrafted rookie. You've got to take better care of the football or you're going to cost your team chances.
After the interception, here's Watson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
Well, that's what they have to do more of defensively. Not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the 1st down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Mullen.
So first thing crossed my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
Whipping one into Allen. That's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him point.
And he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Rams get a late score here in the final minute of the 1st half. CD for them. This has just been an offensive explosion here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the 1st quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the 2nd. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. So now, Charles, 2 touchdowns, 2 tries at 2-point conversions, and both fail.
And you want to say, let's go ahead and run the kicker out there from now on. But the problem is you're chasing points at this stage. So now you've got to dial up more 2-point conversions and hope you're successful from here on out.
And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the 1st half. Watson on 1st down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Trayvon Mullen.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Wow, so wipe out the INT roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down and distance. Knew it wasn't third down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the first down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
Sanders' kick is good, and high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Isaac Yiadom in there to pick it.
And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half.
So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports halftime report. Coach? And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter.
Jason Sanders set to kick off.
The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
As they begin their second half here, Charles, offensively, you know, not where they want to be. Obviously, they're losing in this ball game, but very much within striking distance. We'll see what adjustments they make in the second half.
Is that the old glass half full, half empty type of a deal? Which way do you want to look at it? Because you're right, they're down on the scoreboard, but they're definitely opportunities now. Because if they want to go ahead and get going in this one, get back to the running game. I think there are going to be some places to go with it, and I think the offensive line will appreciate the chance to fire out and hit people.
That's a good point because they virtually had nothing going in the ground game in that first half.
On 2nd and 11 now. Carr. And that'll be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Carr now to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Picked up by Andre Sisco.
Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A. So a big turn of events there. This defense makes the play. They return it for the score, and now they have the lead.
So much for ball security for the offense. Playing with a lead in the second half, they give the ball up, and all of a sudden they're behind.
Big-time fumble. So after the fumble recovery, it's Carr. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Tariq Carpenter.
He's at the 50. 30, the 20, and he takes it all the way back. It's a pick two, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way.
Rams 18.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front three, your front.
And the Rams got him. They bring him down.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
So they send 4 guys out wide, keep it back in to protect, but the linebacker still gets to him before there's time to throw. They've got to get some kind of contact on him, slow him down. Otherwise, they'll continue to sit on the quarterback.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Open man, the tight end Henry. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 27 yards there, a 1st down. Throwing now is Carr.
That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Flushed out right. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. From midfield, here's Carr. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Mike Hilton. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. Carr's throw into the hands of Henry here. And the Rams are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Now Carr. His pass caught at the 4. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he...
And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Keenan Allen, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Rams have come back to make it a 2-point game. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. They'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
A 3rd quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe 1st or 2nd, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points, but I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
Sanchez now. He'll kick it away following the touchdown. Takes it at the 7. And he'll be out of bounds here, a yard shy of the 25 at the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you'd think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Watson. And that one complete downfield to Johnson. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
We have seen big plays from both quarterbacks throughout this game, and there's another one right there. Going back and forth, almost like two excellent guitar soloists trying to top each other with each additional play.
Straight ahead, it's Sermon. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Watson now to throw. Got a man open. It's Sutton. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. An ideal spot here to get a 1st down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. Up the middle, Jones. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
On 2nd down at 4, Watson. This one swung out here to Jones. Touchdown, Seahawks. Aaron Jones from 6 yards away. And the Seahawks get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes this a 9-point game.
33, Rams 24.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Carr. Ayuk bringing it in on the crossing route here. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
Second down at 5.
Again, they'll throw with Carr. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
On play action, now Carr. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Now Carr, got to have this one. He's got the hook up here to Nelson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
We spent a lot of time talking about what's going on the field. How about off the field with the evaluation? And they spent a lot of time saying, we've got to get a rookie in here who has big playability. And that's exactly what we're seeing here early in his career.
Drafted him in the spring. Here he is early in the fall making an impact.
Meanwhile, Carr's throw there complete to Allen.
And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10.
To throw his Carr. And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Andre Sisco. And the Seahawks will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along. If you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
63 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Great time there to come up with his longest run of the night. We just saw it.
Leads to a lot of satisfaction because if they're able to hang on and win this game, you know what else will happen in the locker room after this?
What's that?
Head coach will step up and go, great job, guys. Because of that, come in a little bit later tomorrow.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Here's a give to Jones running left.
And he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. And when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now it's Watson.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fortunately, he's able to recover himself, but the clock's still rolling here.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half. Now Carr.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Carr to throw. Open man is Ayuk, complete.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Carr. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Here's Carr.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked off by Blesson Austin. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. So the victory here for Seattle.
Charles, for this losing side, their heads are hanging as they walk off the field today. And really, I mean, we know why. Those 3 turnovers by that offense, that's ultimately what doomed them.
And this is what coaches preach all the time to every team that we ever talk with. Taking care of the ball on offense, trying to take it away on defense. And let's face it, when you give it away 3 times in one game, you make it very difficult for your team to get the W.
So for the Seahawks, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile for L.A., the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons.